As an investor, what is your opinion on shows like Dragon's Den or Shark Tank?
I know them both. I find them sometimes entertaining. I think they're somewhat dumbing down the process of what a startup goes through, slightly too mainstream, with a heavy dose of entertainment. So I don't want to say I'm opposed to them. I do find them entertaining. I think they do provide a certain value, even if it's an entertainment value. But I think that for those of you listeners who are looking to become a startup entrepreneur, this is probably not what you would be experiencing when you're actually pitching. I think some key differences that you'd see is that first and foremost, you wouldn't just walk into a room with the same 4 or 5 characters on stage, all of which have ulterior motives, or they wouldn't be on that stage. They're also not representative of your typical investors, angel investors. They are public figures first and foremost, with heavy PR departments that make those types of investments out of ulterior motives as well, usually incremental PR. So what you basically would need to get ready for is something vastly different, where you would be trying to target your investor audience with surgical precision, look at the types of investments that they've made before, if that is actually in your industry. Then you would look at their appetite for risk, which will dictate whether they may be a seed, a pre-seed investor versus more down the line, a Series A, Series B, Series C, later on down the line. I would also say for those of you who are early stage startups, don't even bother with VCs, venture capital companies, because you will be rejected simply because, aside from a handful of exceptions, they're not interested in seed or pre-seed types of investments. So focus on angel investors, which in some parts of the world, including France, we call business angels, who are high net worth individuals that provide more than capital. In most cases, they have a network, a very strong network. Before asking him for money, show him a little bit of respect, which actually will help you to convert that potential investor into an actual investor. Don't just blatantly come up and say, I'm looking to raise money. Are you interested in investing? The answer will always be no, because if you're pitching cold and people don't know you, who will write you a check for £100,000? Nobody that I know will. Maybe you
I
do,
thought
but
that was what you were going to say about the common mistakes. So,
yeah,
if
it's
you're looking for an
very
investor, I would expect it to be the case that people would just come right out and say, "Oh, do you want to invest in my business?" And that would be it.
Yeah, so I mean, first, if you're on LinkedIn and you're reaching out, because a lot of pitches that I get from both startups and in particular startups looking for investment on LinkedIn, 50% of them come out like that.
Mm.
I'm raising X amount. Are you interested? Ignore, right? But if a startup comes to me and actually has read a little bit about my profile and is finding some interesting angles, or we could possibly work together, and shows a little bit of respect, I'm gonna at least answer. Not a guarantee of investment, but step one, he's overcome step number one, which is to get my intention and actually to get me somewhat engaged to a certain level, right? So be sensitive about everyone's unique persona. At least show them a little bit of a respect that you have read their LinkedIn profile, maybe looked at their website, maybe read their bio in full before coming back to them, and then find a creative angle on how you can wheel in that fish.
Good.
A hook point is what I would call it, right? We all
Mm.
have hook points. It's your job as a startup, if you're looking to raise money, is to find the right hook point, and that hook point is rarely the same for one person